China has increasingly intensified its utilization of exit bans as a means to suppress human rights defenders and their families, and has expanded the legislative framework authorizing their implementation to encompass individuals under investigation or those associated with ongoing investigations. Thank you for tuning in to the N.D.P. News Channel. We appreciate your continued support and encourage you to subscribe to our channel for more insightful content. In today's discussion, we will delve into the topic of China's exit ban, shedding light on its profound ramifications for human rights and civil liberties. According to Safeguard Defenders, an esteemed human rights organization, references to exit ban within the repository of the Supreme People's Court have surged from fewer than 5,000 occurrences in 2016 to a staggering 39,000 instances in 2020, evidently indicating that the CCP's repressive grip on human rights defenders is tightening. The report, titled "Trapped: China's Expanding Use of Exit Bans," emphasizes that if we were to account for exit bans imposed on the basis of ethnicity, the cumulative number of affected individuals would likely reach into the millions. Additionally, it posits that the overall tally of various other types of exit bans is believed to range in the tens of thousands, if not surpassing this threshold. These figures, though estimations, illustrate the grave extent to which the CCP is employing exit bans as a repressive mechanism to curb dissent and restrict the freedom of movement of countless individuals. The Safeguard Defenders report further states that since Xi Jinping assumed leadership in 2012, China has considerably broadened the legal landscape pertaining to exit bans and has increasingly resorted to their implementation, sometimes even in situations lacking clear legal justification. The campaign director of Safeguard Defenders, Laura Harth, affirms that between 2018 and the present year, a minimum of 5 new or amended Chinese laws have been enacted to provide legal grounds for the imposition of exit bans, thereby bringing the total number of laws currently enforced to 15, reflecting a disconcerting erosion of civil liberties and an erosion of the rule of law. Of particular concern is the recently passed supervision law, which grants authorities the authority to impose exit bans not only on individuals suspected of wrongdoing, but also on anyone connected to ongoing investigations, irrespective of their culpability. Additionally, the forthcoming implementation of the counter-espionage law further compounds the distressing situation, as it explicitly empowers the imposition of exit bans against individuals under investigation. These legal developments exemplify the systematic entrenchment of authoritarian control, as the CCP employs exit bans as a tool to coerce compliance, instill fear, and silence dissidents. The scope of the CCP's crackdown is not limited to domestic activists alone. The report alludes to numerous instances of foreigners, including Americans and Canadians, being subjected to exit bans, further exposing the extraterritorial reach of the Chinese authorities' repressive tactics. This demonstrates that the pervasive impact of exit bans extends far beyond China's borders, casting a chilling effect on individuals, regardless of their nationality, who dare to challenge the CCP's human rights abuses. The growing scrutiny surrounding the implementation of exit bans coincides with escalating tensions between China and the United States, primarily driven by trade and security disputes. This dynamic presents a striking contrast to China's outward messaging, which purports the country's openness to foreign investment and travel, ostensibly moving away from the strictest COVID-related restrictions that had previously contributed to its isolation on the global stage. Moreover, it is worth noting that the majority of cases found within the China Judgments online database that pertain to exit bans are civil in nature, rather than criminal, indicating that the imposition of exit bans extends beyond the realm of legal proceedings directly associated with criminal offenses. Now, if you've not done so yet, please subscribe to the channel and give this video a like as we move on. Exit bans as instruments of control, perspectives on human rights and liberties. Among the individuals ensnared in the grip of an exit ban, a restrictive measure enforced by the Chinese authorities, is the esteemed Chinese human rights lawyer Tang Jitian. Tang's harrowing encounter with this travel restriction occurred on the fateful day of June 2nd, 2021, when he was preparing to embark on a journey from Fuzhou to Japan in order to be at the bedside of his gravely ill daughter, who lay in a comatose state clinging to life. It was during the customary passport inspection process that Tang was abruptly informed by an official that he had been forbidden from leaving the country, citing national security concerns as the rationale behind this confounding decision. Astonishingly, Tang was not embroiled in any criminal investigations, nor was he a party involved in any ongoing judicial proceedings. Instead, he was merely an anguished human rights advocate, desperately yearning to be by his ailing daughter's side during her most vulnerable moments. According to the organization Safeguard Defenders, which diligently tracks such cases, the Chinese government has predominantly employed exit bans as a means to stifle dissidents, exert pressure on family members to return to China to face investigations, intimidate foreign journalists, engage in hostage diplomacy, and exert control over various ethnic and religious groups. This disheartening revelation sheds light on the distressing reality faced by individuals entangled in the web of exit bans. While it's not a recent phenomenon for Chinese citizens to be subjected to such travel restrictions, with historical records indicating the utilization of exit bans against the relatives of Tiananmen Square protesters who sought refuge outside of China following the crackdown in 1989, Safeguard Defenders suggest that there is a growing body of evidence indicating that these bans are increasingly being wielded against foreigners as well. The organization points out that Chinese law permits a wide array of individuals to be subjected to exit bans if they find themselves embroiled in civil business disputes, including legal representatives, persons in charge, and persons subject to direct liability for affecting the performance of debts. Moreover, it emphasizes that these legal proceedings can drag on for years, subjecting those ensnared within their grasp to prolonged uncertainty and distress. Safeguard Defenders draws attention to the troubling case of Richard O'Halloran, an Irish executive who endured a nearly 3-year ordeal spanning from 2019 to 2022 as he found himself unable to depart China due to a civil business dispute. It is worth noting that this dispute predated O'Halloran's association with the company, China International Aviation Leasing Service, and he had fervently hoped that by traveling to China, he could arrive at a resolution. However, it was not until January 2022 that a resolution was reached, allowing O'Halloran to finally depart China, after an arduous negotiation process that culminated in the company making payments to Chinese investors. This disheartening example emphasizes the protracted nature of exit bans linked to civil disputes, which, as the report suggests, are likely to constitute the majority within the broader spectrum of exit bans imposed. Uncertainty and mixed signals. Examining the implications of exit bans. Due to the escalating tensions between the United States and China, there has been a notable increase in the significance of the risk associated with exit bans, as stated by Lester Ross, an experienced attorney in China, renowned for handling exit ban cases. Ross, who currently serves as the head of the China Policy Committee at the American Chamber of Commerce, has observed a surge in concerns among companies and entities regarding this issue, leading them to seek advice on how to effectively prepare for and mitigate the risk associated with exit bans. Foreign businesses have become apprehensive due to the heightened scrutiny and the ambiguous language used in China's counter-espionage legislation, which stipulates that exit bans can be imposed on individuals who pose a threat to national security or cause significant harm to national interests. This lack of clarity and specificity in the legislation has resulted in considerable uncertainty among stakeholders. Jörg Wuttke, the head of the European Union Chamber of Commerce in China, emphasized the magnitude of this uncertainty by stating, "The uncertainty is huge. Can you do due diligence? Clarity has to come." Echoing these concerns, the European Union Chamber issued a statement highlighting the contradictory message sent by exit bans at a time when China is actively seeking to restore business confidence and attract foreign investments. The imposition of exit bans, therefore, create a sense of mixed signals that could potentially hinder China's efforts to promote business growth and international cooperation. According to a report by Safeguard Defenders, individuals subjected to exit bans in China encompass not only ordinary citizens involved in financial disputes, but also human rights defenders, activists, lawyers, and ethnic minorities such as the Uyghurs residing in the Xinjiang region of northwestern China. The report further cites a Chinese judicial document revealing that from 2016 to 2018, a staggering 34,000 individuals were subjected to exit bans due to outstanding debts, a notable increase of 55% compared to the corresponding period 3 years prior. This data highlights the expanding utilization of exit bans, which can be attributed to the tightening security measures under President Xi Jinping's administration. Zhang Li, a Chinese human rights activist, shares her personal experience, elucidating the extent to which exit bans can be employed as a mechanism of control. Li, who was denied the right to leave China for 2 years before managing to escape in 2017 and subsequently receiving asylum in the United States, asserts that Chinese authorities can employ any justification to prevent individuals from departing the country. She emphasizes the absence of the rule of law in China, contending that the law is manipulated to serve the interests of the Chinese Communist Party, yielding highly effective outcomes for the party's objectives. We are eager to hear your thoughts on the China exit ban and its profound implications for human rights. Please share your insights and opinions in the comment section below. Also, don't forget to enable the notification bell to stay updated and ensure you never miss any of our content. Thank you for choosing N.D.P News as your preferred source of information. We look forward to seeing you in our next video.